2020. You know what I mean. Like everyone else, I tried to get fit, make dalgona coffee, stay at home, stay safe, clanking vessels, and making the best of the time I had in my hands. Ambitious as I am, I also began screenwriting my first ever film project when a production company hired me to become a part of their crew. According to India Today, 122 million people in India lost their jobs during the pandemic. And here I was, 16 years old, with my first ever paying project. I was living my dream as an aspiring filmmaker. The reality of my life, however, just morphed into something I'd never have imagined. We all tested positive. At the time, Goa was grappling with the unexpected surge of COVID cases in the state. We were running short in hospital beds, oxygen cylinders, and medicines to treat the virus. Certain COVID medications were being sold 3 times their MRP due to extreme scarcity. Even if we had the best of amenities and medicines, the doctors were clueless on how to combat a virus they never have encountered before. Surviving coronavirus had become a game of luck. And here we were with the dreaded illness, hoping to recover. My mother and I recovered, but he didn't. He wasn't getting any better. Regardless of how many doctors we consulted, how many pills he swallowed, his condition was only getting worse. We had to admit him to the hospital, and my little sister and I watched him leave in an ambulance from a little opening in our door. It was the last time we saw him alive. We barely saw our mom for those following days since she was with him, and her answer to us remained the same. The doctors are handling it, bacha. Don't worry. So we didn't. On the evening of September 2nd, 2020, I received a call from my mom. Krishu, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I couldn't save him. Please forgive me. She was weeping so heavily. She was completely out of breath. I was speechless. I could feel my heart just sink into my stomach. I was out of my breath and my knees got weak. I needed to sit. They're trying to revive him, but he's not waking up, Krishu. Images of him lying there on the bed, holding on to his life, were flashing before my eyes. My chest got so tight, I couldn't make sense of anything. I mean, I'd just spoken to him yesterday and he told me he'd come back home soon. Why didn't he? Why did Papa leave me? I'd love to tell you that I was able to snap out of it easily and get over my grief in an all-inspiring way, given that I'm speaking to you today. But the following days were absolute hell for my family and me. Engaging in rituals, picking up condolence calls, and having to repeat the same painful story over and over again to everyone who asked, "This is so shocking. How did it happen, Krishita?" We all were grieving. We grieved together. We grieved alone. We wept together. We wept alone. This is a graph that shows the percentage of adults experiencing anxiety and depression in the US starting from 2019 through the pandemic. One can easily gauge the mental health crisis that the pandemic has sparked. In an interview with the Print India, psychologist Dr. Ruchita Chandrasekhar said with the second wave, there was widespread helplessness, confusion, trauma, and anxiety. There was widespread, go up, yeah, go up, sorry. With the second wave, there was widespread helplessness, confusion, trauma, and anxiety. There's a lot of confusion and unprocessed anger. Anger at the virus, anger at the system, lack of resources, and even just at death as a concept. We know how to understand the loss from conventional health causes like heart attacks or accidents, but there is rage at people having died because they didn't have oxygen. Everybody is processing loss differently. I had to manage my initial stages of grief alone as I was in isolation. I was alone with my thoughts. I was alone with my pain. I was alone with my memories. I was all alone. It had been my father's dream to see me as a writer, and I wanted to fulfill this dream no matter what. I called my producer and told him that I'm not quitting because of what happened. I don't need time off either. I have to finish what I started. I realized I didn't make this call because I wanted to finish this project. I called because I knew that whenever I'd sit down to write, I would be transported to another world, another dimension. I would be living the life of another character whose life is perfect, just like in the movies. Her life wasn't broken into a million pieces. Her life wasn't a black hole. Her life certainly wasn't waiting for her father to walk through the door with a smile on his face. Writing was the most beautiful escape from reality, even though my life was not hers. It's been a year since the tragedy. Even though my memories of the incident are just as vivid as the day everything changed, my feelings are not the same. My regret has turned into gratitude. My anguish has turned into contentment. My sorrow has turned into hope. I now perceive the years that I did get to spend with him as a gift and don't think it's unfair to have lost the years I did not get to spend with him. My eyes would fill with tears whenever I'd find a photograph of him. But now, I smile as I reminisce the exact moments the photo was taken. If it wasn't for my incredibly supportive family, I wouldn't be who I am today. I count my blessings to have a strong-willed woman like my mother who has always stood by me through it all. Of course, I still have my weak moments where I can't help myself from breaking down. However, these moments are short-lived and getting farther apart. So how will my journey with grief help you or someone else you know who's grieving? According to research conducted by the NCBI in 2009, positive feelings at 6 months following a death are a sign of resilience associated with good long-term outcomes. The intensity and duration of grief is highly variable, not only in the same individual over time or after different losses, but also in different people dealing with different losses, but also in different people dealing with ostensibly similar losses. Everyone's grief journey looks different. Most people are able to make it through with support around them, but some might need professional help. If you know someone grieving right now, there are some signs to look for to know that professional intervention is needed. Watch out for self-harm, hallucination, difficulty in restoring normalcy in life after a period of 6 months, acute anguish or despair, and suicidal thoughts. But what if it has been 6 months and you don't feel any better than you did before? It's okay to seek professional help. You don't have to be alone with your thoughts. You don't have to be alone managing the pain. You don't have to be alone reliving the memories. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to be alone